All right, so tomorrow is the final race in the Zwift Pro Tri-Series Invitational race. And if you haven't been following along, I'll give you a quick recap. Race 1 was in Watopia, and it had 2 KOM climbs for preliminary points. If you finished first through the KOM, you got 7 points, second 5 points, third 3, fourth 2, fifth 1. 2 of those KOMs, and then points for finishing position. And so very early on in the series, I realized that you could actually potentially win the series if you really targeted those preliminary points because they were so heavy. And so that's what I've tried to do this entire series. So race 1, I ended up getting the first KOM and the second KOM, and then I finished in 5th place, which got me, I think, about 40 points in total, which gave me about a 3-point lead over Anthony Costas in second, and I think maybe like a 5-point lead. I think it was James Cunnama in third. So then moving into the second race, it was just a crit race with a preliminary sprint at the halfway mark. Once again, I really targeted that halfway point, and I ended up getting those points, 7 points. And then I ended up finishing 4th, so a decent sprint. Thus far, all of my sprints at the finish have been not very great, but I think a lot of that was because I targeted those preliminary checkpoints. So then after that race, I think I had about an 8-point lead on Anthony Costas. And so then that brought us into the last race that just happened a couple days ago. And that race had 1 preliminary sprint, which really was very close to a KOM because it was on Innsbruck, and it happened like right after a KOM. And so I hit the KOM hard, sprinted really, really hard, and then ended up getting those 7 points. And then that was my worst finish of all in the overall, and I think a lot of it was because Anthony Costas and I were kind of a neck and neck, and we knew the 4th race, most of the series would be decided with that. And so I think Costas went really early in the final sprint, and I kind of got suckered into it. I know you know the odds of winning if you go really early on a big bunch sprint are very, very low on a flat course, but I got suckered into it because I didn't want to lose too many points. But then it ended up backfiring, I think, on both of us, and so I finished 7th. And but anyways, I still had enough points from my finishes from the previous 3 races, as well as getting all those preliminary checkpoints, which gave me 105 points versus second place, I think, James Cunnama with 94 points. If my memory serves me correctly. So I think I have an 11-point lead on second place coming into the race tomorrow, which is where all the fireworks are going to happen. It's the basically Tour of Fire and Ice on Zwift, which is kind of a flat lead up, and then an all-out climb up the Alpe d'Huez. Alpe d'Huez, it's about 4,000 feet of climbing, average I think of like 8% or something. And as well, instead of being a preliminary checkpoint, there's bonus points for first, second, and third. And so first gets 40 points, second gets 35 points, third gets 30 points, and then it's 1 point less, so fourth 29, 28, 27, blah, 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 all the way down. So for me, tactically, obviously I've got to try and protect the overall lead. And so if you do the math, then Cunnama's really the one to watch out for. He's the closest. And so for him to win, he has to win the Alpe d'Huez climb, and I have to finish. If I finish 4th, we tie, and if I finish 5th, he wins. And then the other guys, it's a bit larger gap. But so Cunnama's the big one to watch. Obviously, the climbers, Costas, I think he's about 20 points back or so. He's probably one of the stronger climbers, so he's obviously one to watch. But anyways, it's going to be very interesting. My best time up the Alpe d'Huez is 37 minutes or so. That was off of about 390 watts. Something tells me to win the stage, if there's any stage that I won in this race, I would love to win the Alpe d'Huez just because it is a mountain climb. And I'm thinking in order to win this stage, it's going to take a new personal best up the Alpe d'Huez of 400 plus watts. So I hope you tune in. It's going to be really exciting. If there's anyone you want to see, it's this one. And the overall standings will be decided. So I think Eastern time, it starts around 2 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, July 1st. I have no idea about dates and times anymore. This world is so strange. All right, I got it right. So tune in. It's going to be great.